Julia. Welcome back to my channel. Have you ever been utterly played and deceived by a makeup product? Because I have, and it's all of these ones. For today's video, I had this idea at the time that I have all my best ideas, which is 11 p.m. when I'm in bed, and I immediately started writing things down in an iPhone note because I could think of a lot of really unnecessarily bougie, expensive products that didn't do shit. So as you can probably tell by the title, today's video is going to be overpriced products that didn't do anything to be worth the money. A lot of these products, I don't think they're necessarily like bad pieces of makeup slash skincare. I just think that they don't really do anything that special to warrant the price tag. These are all like kind of high-end slash luxury products that I just feel aren't really worth the money. And of course, these are just my opinions. If you do like these products and they actually do something special for you, that's awesome. But for me, they really didn't do anything noticeable, didn't really enhance my makeup using experience or do anything noticeable that would justify spending a little bit of extra coin. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope it gets you to think about some other things in your collection that maybe, just maybe, were not worth the splurge. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Let's do this. Alright, to start off, I think I want to burn the bridge with the brand that I genuinely love almost everything I've tried from, and that is Charlotte Tilbury. Pretty much all the things I've tried from Charlotte Tilbury, other than this item, I feel like they've all been worth the splurge to me. Granted, I have only tried like a selection of the like highest rated products because I do like research more luxurious products before I go buy them, whereas with like drugstore, I'm more likely to be like, take my money please. But one of the first things I tried out from Charlotte Tilbury before I like really got to know what was actually good from their brand were their eyeshadows. I actually only have like one palette with eyeshadows in it from Charlotte Tilbury, and these I actually don't mind. This is the Instant Look in a palette. It's just really basic and neutral, very good travel palette actually. But for me, more so along the lines of what I'm talking about are their like vintage vamp palettes, or even the bigger palettes that they came out with that I've seen really beautiful looks with on Instagram from Charlotte Tilbury. I think the advertising they do for these palettes is insane. I just really do not like the formula of Charlotte's eyeshadows. The mattes for me ended up being just very muddy and not super blendable. I had the vintage vamp palette and that was the prettiest one to me. And there were two like kind of burgundy matte shades in there. Both of them looked really pretty in the pan, but they showed up with very little color distinguishing on the eyes, so they looked pretty much the same. They blended together, but not in a way that looked nice and cohesive, but mostly just kind of muddy and unblended. And she has definitely one of the most chunky shimmer formulas. I would use it with a wet brush or with a finger and I would still get fallout all under the eyes, especially as you blink throughout the day. It just kind of rains down onto this like little under eye area right here. So I don't really love Charlotte Tilbury's eyeshadow formula. I think her like very neutral shades like these kinds of colors are hard to mess up, so this is good to me. But if you're wanting like actual nice colors, not even necessarily like colorful shades, just like actual depth and dimension from your eyeshadows, I don't think her palettes are even remotely worth it. And also they're super overpriced, $50 for a quad. Bitch what? So yeah, those eyeshadow palettes, the one thing I don't like from Charlotte Tilbury. I regularly go to my local Sephora just to kind of troll around in the skincare section, and I've always found myself gravitating towards the Herbivore display. They're a very like clean beauty, all natural type skincare brand, and they're mostly known for not using preservatives in their skincare, which sounds great in theory. I feel like preservatives are a word thrown around to kind of generate a lot of fear within the beauty community, like don't put preservatives in your food, don't put preservatives in your makeup. But preservatives in beauty are safe, are regulated, are formulated within the product, and they're a good thing because they keep your products from expiring super quickly. But because Herbivore doesn't have that, these do have a very short shelf life. But regardless of that, I have tried a couple of their products. Quite possibly the most underwhelming thing I've tried from them was their Herbivore Rose Hibiscus Coconut Water Face Mist. I'm clowning myself now because the decision in retrospect to buy this was super dumb, but it's aesthetically pleasing and I was kind of charmed by the whole idea of a coconut rose mist. First of all, you can't smell the coconut. It's just coconut water and it doesn't smell like coconut. It's just a basic rose water type mist. This is hardly any different from any other rose water spray on the market. In fact, I think the Trader Joe's Rose Water Facial Toner, which I've talked about endlessly on my channel, this has a finer mist. You get more product. To me, it smells better. I feel like this one's more hydrating on my skin. This is $5, and Herbivore is one of the more expensive clean beauty brands at Sephora. So far, I haven't tried anything from them that I've thought was like really worth a splurge, and this one does pretty much nothing, like literally no hydration. So I don't love this one. Thankfully, I only have a small size, so I will finish this one up probably, and it won't take that long. But yeah, if you were considering buying this one, don't do it. It's such a waste of money. When I think of the word mediocrity, I never want to think of like a $60 foundation coming after it, but alas, the Kevyn Aucoin Etherealist Foundation, quite possibly the most mediocre foundation I've ever tried. It's not bad, which is why I, for a long time, convinced myself that I actually like this foundation, because I thought, you know what? It's not terrible. Like, I don't mind using it, but there are so many things I would reach for before this one, and especially for the price tag. You could get so many great affordable foundations, or even like less expensive foundations. It's a more medium coverage, kind of like luminous lightweight foundation. The lasting power, it's there, but it's not like anything extraordinary. I feel like the Anastasia foundation, which costs a lot less, lasts a lot longer and looks better on the skin at the end of the day for kind of like a similar initial finish. It doesn't look completely like cakey and gross on the skin, but it also doesn't look like a nice lightweight skin veil. It's just kind of, it's a foundation and it's there. That is like the baseline for what a foundation should be, and I expect a lot more for such an expensive formula. Everything with really pretty words. Etherealist is on this like list of words on my iPhone notes app where I just have this, I think like 300 and counting words that I think are really pretty, but like that's where the specialness of this foundation ends. I feel like I've seen a huge resurgence of people really loving on the Bobbi Brown vitamin enriched face base. Now obviously I have a small size. I think Jefferson Starship is the one who kind of reinvigorated the craze for this one, but it's a classic product and it's interesting to see that people are really recommending it now as a really good primer. They had like a sample size available as like a free sample at Sephora, so I went ahead and just got it. It's pretty much just like a thick looking moisturizer cream, and I smoothed it onto my face. It felt nice, moisturizing, pretty. I put makeup on top of it. It applied like any type of makeup would over a nice moisturizer. And at the end of the day, I was like, okay, so nothing then. It didn't really prolong the wear of my makeup that much. It just kind of set down a nice hydrating base. And I can do that with like CeraVe cream from the drugstore. So yeah, just like find a good face cream that really works for you. I think there's so many great options. You don't need this. All right, folks, we've seen the mediocre foundation. Now for the mediocre concealer. I really like Milk Makeup a lot. Their Baked Bronzer, I think, is one of the best cream products I've ever tried. So the Milk Makeup Flex Concealer. This concealer is interesting to me. I think it was Kathleen Lights who kind of convinced me to get this one. I didn't really see any other bigger YouTubers talking about this concealer, but she was raving about it. And I think it's interesting to note that I have not seen her talk about this concealer like at all in the past year or so, but she was saying this was a really good concealer. And at first I was like, oh, it's a pretty decent price because it's in the $20 range, pretty standard for a high-end concealer. However, you are getting 0.2 fluid ounces in here. It's in a very like thin, slim bottle. And then Tarte Shape Tape for a kind of similar price margin is 1/3 of an ounce. I believe the Too Faced Born This Way concealer is 1/2 ounce. So you can get a ton more product that is, in my opinion, a better quality formula for a lot less money. So that's why this is overpriced for me. But also, really did not do anything super special to my skin that would justify spending a little bit of extra money. Coverage was kind of meh. I don't really mind a more medium coverage concealer, but I do want it to like not look like concealer on me if it's going to be a bit of a lighter coverage concealer. And for me, this didn't really do that. It was just kind of there on my skin, and I wasn't like mad about how it looked, but I also wasn't like, wow, I look really good today. This is a great skin day. And I've tried to like make this work for me in many different ways, using it with different powders, using it with different foundations. And I don't know, I've tried so many. Hold on, I have a phone call right now. Hey, Chief. What? Okay. Yeah, Chief called. He said this ain't it. No. I have strong feelings about this one because as your resident dry skin hoe, I love me a good hydrating serum, and I love me some good Drunk Elephant products. I think I've tested out almost everything from Drunk Elephant at this point. I've tested out all their serums, and I think the Be Hydra Intensive Serum is the least popular one, or least known one in their line, because the glycolic and the vitamin C ones are really popular. And this hydrating serum, I don't really see anyone ever talking about it in their Drunk Elephant reviews. So I do have this like small sample size. I had another bigger sample size that I completely went through, so I have continue to test this product out and see if I can get it to work for me. It is such a meh serum to a point where I think you would probably just go to The Ordinary, get a hyaluronic acid serum, and it would do the same, if not better, for your skin. This one, I just felt like it was a very light gel. Felt nice on the skin, nice and cooling, but like my skin was still dry. It didn't really do any intensive hydration, which is what it says it would do in the name. I especially thought I could pair this with the Drunk Elephant glycolic serum because that one can be a little bit harsher. I like to have a more hydrating serum mixed with an acid just to kind of tone it down and make sure my skin can handle it. Yeah, it didn't really do anything intensely hydrating for me, or even like remotely hydrating, so I don't think it's worth the price. I think there's so many things from Drunk Elephant that do deserve a splurge, the glycolic serum, but this is just so mediocre. I don't like it. As much as I really do not like the Stila glittering glows, I can admit that they do a really special effect, even though they don't last that long and they do like go bad really quickly. They do have a really pretty effect on the eyes. The shimmer and glows, however,
Thank you, next, bitch!
Stila came out with essentially the kind of same idea. It's a liquid shadow, but it's shimmer instead of glitter, so it doesn't have any of the intense, beautiful glitter effect. It's just your basic shimmer shade. And they were the same price, $24 each, which is crazy expensive for a single eyeshadow, especially like a liquid that's gonna dry up eventually. Yeah, just like the least special thing I've ever seen on my eyes ever. In fact, I did feel like they creased and were unnecessarily hard to use. If I'm gonna go to the extra effort, it better like last the same on my eyes as a powder shadow would. And I don't even have very oily eyelids. I just felt like they were just not a good formula. So yeah, I personally wouldn't recommend the Stila glitters or their shimmer shadows. Just mine have all dried out within the span of a year. So I can't not recommend these enough. I've made many jokes about my entire lip collection being ColourPop, and it's mostly true. I can count on two hands the amount of like high-end / luxury type lipsticks that I have, and even fewer of those that I've actually bought. The rest have been, I'm lucky enough to have been sent in PR. I'm like perfectly happy with my entire collection being made up of ColourPop. They're just really good. A lot of the time I don't really see the value of getting a super high-end lipstick. The exception of course being like Fenty Beauty Stun lip paints. These are perfection. Or even like the Kylie lip kits. If I see a really beautiful color that I really enjoy, I will spend a little bit of extra money on it. But usually formulas just aren't that special. For me, there's no better example than these ones from Makiage. This brand I feel like is kind of struggling with their relevancy. I know they did a collab earlier this year with Carly Bible that just came out of nowhere. I'd never seen her talking about their products ever. I've tried like quite a few things from their brand. They're just generally very expensive, kind of like Natasha Denona and Pat McGrath type stuff, where their eyeshadows are like $120 something. They have like a $50 foundation that I constantly see ads for on Instagram. It doesn't actually look that good on the skin, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, their business model I guess is the kind of same thing where it's just really expensive products, except I don't think that they have like the hype behind them to justify that kind of price or make that business model profitable. I don't know. This is all alleged tea and I'm getting a little bit messy here. Anyways, I've tried a couple colors of their Infinity Match Longwear lip creams, and these are just their standard liquid lipstick formula. It's a decent formula, I don't mind it, but I don't think it's worth like almost $30. I think these are priced around that, which is ridiculous. And because this is a brand that does a lot of like sponsored Instagram ad spots, so they pop up in my feed a lot even though I don't follow them, I always see the same ad and people commenting below like, does it really look like that? Because it looks otherworldly beautiful in the ads. In my opinion, nothing that I've tried from them has been like actually worth the price. Not to say that they're bad products, these are like fine liquid lipstick, but like gotta take it down a little bit, you know? I will give it to them though and say that the packaging is absolutely beautiful. I think other high-end brands like Hourglass should take notes. This is, if you're gonna charge a lot of money for your products, at least make the packaging look nice and luxurious and not super chintzy. I have such a soft spot for Tatcha. They were one of the first skincare brands that I really fell in love with, and I kind of credit them for getting me into skincare in the first place. The more I've tried more brands, especially since I've been introduced to like Drunk Elephant, Pharmacy, I've noticed other high-end skincare brands creating products that have a lot more of a result for me, whereas Tatcha I feel like is like more maintenance for people who already have really nice skin. So their water cream, I've actually talked about this in a few favorites videos because I do like it. It's a nice moisture, it's a really nice moisturizer, but it is overpriced. There are so many good like thin water texture moisturizers you can get that are not $68. The Dewy Skin Cream, however, that does nothing for me. Doesn't make my skin any more dewy than the water cream does. I just didn't really notice anything very special with that one. And I used it a lot under makeup, testing it out. I had an entire like tester size like this that I completely used up. And now that that's gone, I don't miss it at all. So the Dewy Skin Cream and the water cream to me are pretty overpriced for very minimal results in terms of actually boosting your skin and its health. But I want to talk about this new release from Tatcha, which is the Silk Peony Eye Cream. It's so pretty. There's like a peony in the lid. I think this is gorgeous. But in my recent skincare video, I said that I don't really believe in eye cream. Most of the time, I feel like eye cream is pretty much just a very small, rich moisturizer in a small pot. Pretty much the exact same formula of a moisturizer, just a tiny bit like more richer, a bit more occlusive, so there's more moisture in there, but it doesn't really do anything that a nice moisturizer wouldn't do to your skin. And unfortunately, as pretty as this is, the same holds for the eye cream from Tatcha. Yeah, when I use this one, my under eyes are moisturized, but you know what also moisturizes my under eyes? Taking moisturizer up around my orbital bone does the same thing. Yeah, I big fell into the hype of this one. Skincare has been the thing that I consistently love spending my money on the most, but it also makes me regret my life choices the most.
You need a therapist.
When I think of brands that need to step up their eyeshadow game, a lot of different brands come to mind. Smashbox, Laura Mercier, Becca, Hourglass, Laura Mercier, Kevyn Aucoin, Laura Mercier. But I always see my sentiments echoed on Trend Mood whenever Ofra comes out with a new eyeshadow palette because It is so basic for so much money. They really charge quite a bit for their eyeshadow palettes. And they also have a habit of coming out with those like big palettes with also like highlighters and face stuff in there as well, which nobody that I know enjoys those types of palettes. But yeah, I've tried some like colorful shadows from Ofra. This is the Francesca Tolo palette, and I've just been like very underwhelmed by what they have to offer in terms of eyeshadows. It's not, again, it's like not a bad formula, but it's not a good formula either. I wouldn't pay any more than like $3 for each of these shadows. That is really harsh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they really overcharge for their eyeshadows, and they haven't been coming out with anything that's been like an inspiring color story or any particularly unique single shadow shades. I think they're just banking on like people love Ofra so much that they're willing to try anything, and I don't think that's working out for them because I have not seen anything about their eyeshadows in a long time. And it's so weird because Ofra is one of those brands I really associate with like very extra Instagram style makeup, especially with the highlighters. So I feel like it really fits their brand aesthetic to come out with like some fun eyeshadow palettes, but I don't know. I love products with unnecessary gold flakes in them as much as the next girl, but the YSL Touche Cloud Glow Primer, we all got baited. This primer has so much hype around it from a lot of big beauty gurus who undoubtedly got to like have a brand relationship with YSL. So I was very excited to try this one out just because I do really enjoy like kind of blurring, smoothing primers. Definitely does have that very silicone-y feel that is pretty much the trademark of any more smoothing primer. And it's pretty. The full-size bottle is glass. It has a nice gold cap and there's gold flakes in it. It's beautiful in terms of like displaying it and looking nice and looking very rich. There's like nothing. My foundation doesn't last longer on this one. It doesn't last like less long either. It doesn't like adversely affect the wear of my makeup, but it doesn't do anything that's like super noticeable in terms of enhancing it. And for close to $60 for a primer, that's ridiculous. I have another product from Kevyn Aucoin, and I've never been so like ambivalent towards a makeup product. The Kevyn Aucoin Expert Mascara. I tried this out earlier this year, and I actually really expected to enjoy this one just because the wand type is what I really enjoy. Thick, fluffy. It's supposed to be very like, kind of reminded me of the Essence Lash Princess wand, which I would just get Essence Lash Princess. It's $5 and this is like almost $30. And this has just kind of reinforced to me why I don't buy luxurious or like high-end mascaras anymore. They don't do anything that Essence Lash Princess can't. Pretty much the only thing that this did for me was make my lashes black. It didn't do anything astronomical in terms of volume or length, and a lot of mascaras I have smudge on me, so it's not like a super unique thing, but this one did do that to me, which I don't enjoy. And then finally, I don't think I've ever actually talked about this on my channel, but the Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzers, they came out with a bunch of powder bronzers sometime last year, I think. It was a pretty big launch for them. I didn't see a ton of like hype around these, but it's like that pretty compact, same packaging as the Amrezy highlighter, and they did a pretty good array of different shades. They're actually not super overpriced, so I don't know if this really fits into the video. They're like $28, which is not too much in terms of like higher end bronzers, but it is a lot of money in the grand scheme of things for a colorful powder. Makeup is so weird, huh? It wasn't super easy to blend either. I didn't feel like it would like diffuse seamlessly. The Cover FX monochromatic bronzer, for example, that blends like nothing. Like I think that is genuinely worth the money because it's like I don't even have to try. I just kind of put the brush on my face and it just looks beautiful anyways. You could put this formula in any packaging and I wouldn't know what it was. Alright guys, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video talking about a bunch of overpriced products that do nothing. I would love to know in the comments if you have any products that are like this, because I would love to avoid some things that aren't going to do anything for me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed down below, and also follow me on Instagram to see makeup looks like this. Posted when I feel like it, honestly. And if you made it to the very end of this video, you dewy hoes. You could split me. Love you. Bye.
These jeans here, they have these really cool rips at the knees that just look